Welcome. Happiest of holidays to everybody. I know last week we said we weren't sure if we were going to be here, but guess what? We are now sure that we are here. So if you have been tuning in, waiting in the waiting room or just chilling, hanging out, boom. We did the thing. We're here. We collaborated as a team. As the let's see, there's three of us. So what would we be? Can't be the Fantastic Four. I don't know, a dynamic trio. I'll figure it out later. I got it. Caleeb is going to be our Batman. So you're going to be our Bruce Wayne. Caleeb, how are you doing, sir?
I'm good. How's everybody doing?
Oh man, living the dream, bro. Living the dream.
Yeah.
Wudi, you are going to be the OG Robin. You are going to be Dick Grayson. Later on turns into Nightwing. Go on, Wudi. How are you, sir?
Hey, well, I'm doing great now. All right. Ready to rock, ready to roll. This is our last show of the year.
Oh yeah.
2024. We sending it out with a bang. So I'm ready. I'm ready.
Nice. I love it. Oh man. So you know what? I guess that leaves me with, I don't know, Batman Beyond. I am the Batman of the future. Y'all already know. I was holding on to that for a very long time. So yeah, I'm good too, man. You know, just doing the thing. Everybody, hopefully everybody had a very happy and safe holiday, and I hope that you were with loved ones, friends, or family, because that is the most important thing if you got a chance to do that. And I hope everybody is well. So with that being said, we got a lot of sports to get through and a very little amount of time. So we are going to jump right into it. And if you are in the chat anywhere, just jump in, chime in. We'd love to have a conversation with you. So please do the thing, jump in, and we appreciate all y'all because we're going to go quick, but we're going to have a good time. First and foremost, I want to talk about Thursday's NFL games very quickly Wednesdays, because we had Christmas. We had Christmas games, man. So let's talk about that very quickly. I will start because my Pittsburgh Steelers, who we are going to talk about in a bit as well. Pittsburgh Steelers got defeated by the two-time championship holders, the Kansas City Chiefs, by a score of 29-10. This was a rough one at second half. First half, Pittsburgh seemed very slow to get out the gate. Kansas City was on trajectory. Then we caught up and we slowed them down. And at halftime, it was looking optimistic. Second half, different story. This was a game of two halves. The second half was not won by us, but it was won by turnovers, which we are great at, which the Steelers are absolutely phenomenal at, giving up big plays. Second game was Baltimore at Houston, and Baltimore did not waste any time. They started out like the Kansas City Chiefs, and then they finished like the Kansas City Chiefs of old and destroyed Houston 31-2 in the second game. That is not what we expected. This is Netflix's first Christmas game, or I should say the NFL, brought to you by Netflix, their first NFL game of Christmas Day. Gentlemen, you can chime in on either of these two games. What do you think? And we'll also have to talk about Beyonce at halftime. So go ahead. Anybody can hit it up. Anybody can hit it up. Free for all.
All I'm gonna say is, whatever they accused Diddy of, whatever, all that stuff, what the Baltimore Ravens did to the Houston Texans on Christmas Day was way worse. Okay? That was uncomfortable for me to see.
Yeah, that's tough.
What they did to CJ Stroud and them boys.
Yeah, it was good. You know what? I think CJ, it's so interesting, like these young boys, like this generation of being so emotional, right? I think he's still reeling from the Tank Dell. He's still like, oh my God, he tore his ACL. I mean, I can't continue, right? I mean, you saw Caleeb last night. He like, I'm learning. You know what I mean? It's like, come on, you guys. Jesus, it's football. This is what happens. You know what I mean? And I just think the Ravens just, they ran them up. You know what I mean? Like they really gave it to them. But it's going to be interesting to see, because I was telling my mom, she's a huge Steelers fan, Nigel, like you are. The funny thing is, she was devastated over the Chiefs whooping that ass too. But, hey, man, they're in the big games, though. They got the playoffs. So it's like it matters, but not really. Right. It's like almost like, OK, we're filling you out. Cool. We see what y'all got. I cannot wait for the playoffs this year. I haven't been more excited for the NFL playoffs in a long time. There's so many good teams. So I'm especially in the AFC. Like, I'm so waiting to see. That's where all the best quarterbacks are. And I'm just waiting to watch what happens. I think CJ, he'll be all right. He's going to get in there, but I don't think they'll do anything this season. So I think they'll be done, one and done. Pretty much, they'll come in wherever they go. They're going to be sent right back home. And no, I do. I don't see them doing.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah, I just don't think. Not without Nico. Not without Tank. Not with him. In his feelings. I think he's just a little shell shocked. But it's going to come down to, and I know we haven't gotten here. We were supposed to just be talking about those games, but it's coming down to the big three quarterbacks in the league. And I'm excited to see, and they're all in the AFC. I'm excited to see what happens. But Lamar did his thing. He looked phenomenal as per usual, as long as it's the regular season. So, you know what I'm saying? It's like, as long as it's the regular season, he's the greatest who ever did it. Him and Peyton Manning, you could pick. You know what I mean? But then the next thing comes.
Yeah, a little asterisk on there. Nostalgic Nick, what's up? And salute. And you know what? On that note, too, very quickly, you mentioned Tank, and man, that sucked so bad. Like, I mean, as soon as it happened, I think we were all watching the game, and I chimed in, or somebody chimed in on the chat, and we kind of just had a little bit of sprinkling of conversation about that. And that was just so. It's tough to see when such a great player, who's such an amazing part of a machine, and you have so much high hopes for that squad to go down like that, especially after what they've gone through. You're like, that's the clincher right there. I don't think they can
break
do
your leg and then tear your ACL. Friendly fire.
Yeah,
his own receiver rolled up on his leg after he's made a spectacular catch. Yeah. It's like it's like, dang, what did your grandfather do to make God say, through the sea? I'm sending this person down.
And like, just a little medical history on Tank, because I found this morning. He had a fractured tibia December 2023. All right, fractured tibia in December 2023. Then he was shot in the leg in April 2024, and now he tore his ACL, MCL, LCL December 2024. This young man has gone through some things.
Oh, Tank with the festivities. You just don't get shot. You just don't get shot with the. Okay.
Yep. Somebody skipped over that little detail, little factoid.
That's a tough 365 days.
Listen, you better start tithing or something.
So without further ado, let's jump right into the Thursday night game, or Thursday night hangout. Thursday night, what would that have been? Snooze fest. Thursday night sleeper. I forgot that there was a game on, and woke up this morning and remembered, and so glad that I forgot, because the score of this brutal, potentially worst game of the year? ? Seattle Seahawks now 9-7, and they could make the playoffs. They have a better chance now with a 6-3 win against the Bears, who are now 4-12. And mind you, 6-3 score was the highest that it got before halftime, and then that was it. No scoring whatsoever. Your passing leader was none other than Geno Smith, 17 for 23, 160 yards. Rushing leader, Charbonnet with 15 carries for 57 yards. DJ Moore of the Chicago Bears, 6 receptions for 54 yards. Seattle's still alive. Let's talk about the snooze fest. Don't make me fall asleep. Anybody can hit it. Go ahead.
All right. Well, yeah. I mean, I gotta say the Seattle Seahawks are, people want to talk about the Chiefs. Oh, are they the worst, 13-win team or whatever? I mean, the Seahawks got to be the worst 9-win team. They ain't it. They ain't it. Geno specifically, I think he has finally come back down to earth. I know they saying, that 1 year, they wrote me off, I ain't writing back. Well, trust me, somebody has been writing. They've been writing a paragraph, writing an essay all season, okay? I think that whole, honeymoon phase of Geno Smith on the Seahawks, they've got to think long and hard this season if he is the future, because I don't think he is. I think he's a past. The Bears, I mean, yeah, this is tough. This is tough. I don't think any of us watched the game, so we can't speak on the game specifically.
I did,
but
unfortunately.
you watched it? Oh,
you did.
I mean, all right. So, hey, I've seen 6-3. Like, because I was looking at this last night. Like, what should we talk about today? I was like, oh my god, this. I mean, this score is terrible. You know, I looked at those same stats, 160 yards, terrible. So I apologize to Caleeb, and Roger Goodell should, send you an apology as well, because
he was there with his family. He was there with his family. They were there too.
Oh, wow. Man. So everybody got it. Everybody got it.
Yes. And
wow.
I feel worse for the new GM for Chicago, but also the young interim coach, because they're young. They're both young black men who will never have a career because of that shit they put out on the field. You know what I'm saying? Like, and Caleeb, who my namesake, I think he has a great name. He's just horrible. Like it's so bad. It's so, you guys know I'm a big fight fan. There used to be a fighter back in the day. His name was Amir Khan, and his name was perfect for him. And it's the same thing for Caleeb. Amir Khan. Get it? Yes, because he's not as good as advertised. He doesn't deserve what he gets. Like, I thought he was so overrated at USC. And now he's coming to the league and showing it. It's bad. It's like they can't block for him, and he don't make good decisions when they do. So I don't even know what to say. I feel bad for Swift. I know he's wishing he could be Saquon's backup. You know what I mean? Because it's just bad being there. But here's what I'm really going to say. Seattle, they ain't got a shot in hell winning that damn division, because that's the only way they can get in. If they think they're going to beat the Rams next Sunday with that kind of play, man, they, as my stepfather used to say, you got a better chance of spreading cold, chunky peanut butter on a lion's ass than winning. And that's exactly what's going to happen. They are done. They are done. Geno has been sorry since he was in New York. You know what I mean? A broke clock is right twice a day, so he had one good season. Give him two. So he been in the league since '89. Like, he only got two halfway decent seasons, and then they pay him all this money, right? This is the reason. This is the reason why, you know, those kind of performances hurt everybody. It trickles down. But anyway, I'm glad the season is over. I can't wait for this stuff to be done. And the playoffs to begin, because I'm done now. I'm like, let's just get it over with. It's ridiculous. They should have never put them on Thursday night. They ruined the whole thing. Thursday has been dope for the whole season.
They've been killing it.
Put these cats on. You know what I'm saying?
Especially right after the Christmas Day games, which were like, it just the excitement of it. I'm not necessarily saying that they were amazing games, but it's just, we know that people tuned in to Christmas Day. They're like, yo, then we got Thursday games, then we got a night off on Friday, then we get Saturday games and Sunday games. Yo, let's just roll right in. And this one was just not it. This game is just a hard stop. It's like if I was smoking and I was like, you know what, cold turkey, and then, you know, all the, like, he's hacking up a lung and stuff after that. That's what this game was. But that's even more entertaining. Whew, man. So that was a tough one. I'm going to assume, you know what? I'm not going to assume. I'm going to tell y'all we're moving on. Right. So definitely potentially the worst game of the year. It is what it is. We'll see how the playoffs pan out for Seattle. But like you said, Caleeb, they got some work to do. And you guys kind of touched on it a little bit in terms of Geno's magical run. Wudi, you had mentioned that this might be his last run, because he did considerably slow down from the beginning of the season, even mid-season to now. Everything just really came down to a halt. It's like a truck using air brakes, where it's just, you know what I mean? It's just like a terrible stop. As per usual, since we ended our Thursday football review, this is time for Nigel's Cap Corner. Nigel's Cap Corner. Nigel's Cap Corner. I'm going to try and come up with a different genre jingle every time. So check it out, y'all. Listen. Two of my teams have played this week, the Steelers, and they lost to Kansas City Chiefs. The Raptors played last night. We are going to talk about the Memphis Grizzlies in a minute, and they got beat down by the Grizzlies. Man, that game, at one point it was close. I'm not going to lie to you, truth. I watched the whole game. At one point it was close, and the Grizzlies were like, we're over it. So this is my third team, Arsenal, the Arsenal Gunners. This, you guys are looking at it, Nigel Downer, exclusive. This is a custom right here. If you know this, you know this. Shout out to me getting it made, and it's just plain Jane. You know what I mean? That's what I call it, with no batterman on the side, no side patch, nothing on the back. You got the New Era flag in white, as you see, and I got this navy blue with the red scripted A on there, the Gothic A. Gray under, black guts. Oh, I got 3 of these made. So each colorway for all of my jerseys and all of my swag. Once again, sporting the Arsenal Adidas hoodie here. And listen, the British make it different because this is a thicker hoodie. Like, it's just a decent hoodie, man. They make quality stuff. That's all I got to say about that.
Because it's cold there. Because they're white.
That's also true. It's very bizarre because now if you're watching these soccer games, like, there's a lot of true winter in the UK, in London, which they never used to have. Like, it was just kind of rainy season. Now it's legit just snowflakes piling up. So it's they're getting it now. Winter is coming. All right. Let's jump in, talk a little bit more NFL. Then we're going to hop into some other topics. Let's talk about this quickly as well. Now, Lamar's game on Wednesday really put some eyes back on him and took it away from Josh Allen. Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Saquon, Barkley, or other. I mean, who now is the leader for the NFL MVP race this year? Let's go, Caleb, and then we'll go Wudi.
It's still Josh Allen. It's still Josh Allen because of what he's cooking with. You know what I'm saying? If you got hamburger helper and everybody else got filet mignon, it's like if you make something that tastes just as good, they like, yo, that's better. You know what I mean? All he's got is salt and pepper. That's it. He ain't got no Lowry's. He ain't got no seasoned pepper. He ain't got no, you know what I mean? He ain't got none of that. He ain't got no Cajun season, nothing. Right? So Josh is cooking with less and he's performing well. Lamar's got 13 more touchdowns than him this season. He's beating them by like 400. Oh my God, it's so crazy. Their stats come up on TV right now. Lamar at 39.55 passing yards. Josh at 35.49. 26 touchdowns for Josh, 39 for Lamar. 514 rushing yards for Josh. 852 for Lamar. 11 rushing touchdowns for Josh, 4 for Lamar. But it doesn't matter. He's cooking with less. You got Isaiah Likely, you got Flowers, you got Derrick Henry, you got like and what's
Mark Andrews.
Stop it. The only one he got is Dalton Kincaid, right? Like, and Dalton is okay. He ain't no Brock Bowers. The point is this: Cook can cook. He's a good running back, right? And you got, and I like Shakir too, but to be honest, it's like, come on. So I think Josh is cooking with less, so I think it's going to be Josh. Plus, Lamar has gotten to, this is what happens. When you win a multiple, they start looking for other people to give it to because you're doing the same thing. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, you've been doing this. We've already rewarded you twice. Like, he needs to win a chip. And I would say it even for Josh, because they were debating, who would deserve the MVP more or whose legacy would help. Don't help. Neither one of them, because both of them have gotten to the point now where you have to have a title. Nobody cares about the MVP. You give Lamar another one and he doesn't win the title. You know how dumb that's going to hurt his legacy. If he doesn't get a title with another MVP. 3 with no rings, you'll give them all back for 1 ring. You know what I mean? It's like, how many MVPs did Tom Brady win? But I bet you guess how many Super Bowl rings he got. Okay? And that you don't see Tom Brady like, look at my MVPs. No, he be like, the same thing Jordan does. Jordan be like all that doesn't matter. Jordan never holds up his MVP. So I think it's dumb to even go into it. Both of them want a ring. And I think they both need one. Josh to have an MVP, okay, cool. But so what? Especially if GOAT Mahomes wins another one. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I think it's so dumb. So again, I think Josh should win it. To answer the question, I think it's Josh's year, but because he's cooking with less, but I don't think it matters. I think it's a table weight for either one of them because the only thing they really care about is that thing.
Yeah, facts. Wudi.
Well, I think you guys know that there's probably no one in the world more upset than me that this award is a QB award. Right, right, like that. That's like that makes me so mad. So my pick most of the season was Saquon.
Mm-hmm.
What he's done with the Eagles. Had they won that game against the Commanders last week, I would be shouting Saquon to the heavens. All right, like, hey, don't Hurts, Pinkett, anybody, hey, Saquon is still carrying them to victory. I still do feel obviously very strongly on what Saquon has done for the team. If he breaks a rushing record, I think that's a reason, right, to give it to a non-QB. The last non-QB to get it was Adrian Peterson after his historic season after tearing his ACL. So I think, Saquon breaks the rushing record. He deserves serious consideration. But if we are going to keep it to the QB award, people, like to say, Lamar has better stats. Josh had better stats last year. He led the league in touchdowns. All right. He was a much better passer, but, they gave it to Lamar because, of the rushing.
He can do more things. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not anymore, though.
Exactly.
I think Josh's running is just as good and more lethal.
11, like you just said, 11 touchdowns to Lamar's 4, right, on the feet. So I think now it would be Josh's time. It's Josh's time. If it is between the two of them, I'm saying Josh Allen, and of course, a point with ingredients means a great deal as well. It's not even disrespect to those players, but those players are not at all. Derrick Henry, Mark Andrews, Flowers, there are not, none of them are in that ilk whatsoever. So, if it's between those two, Josh, but I still think Saquon, if he breaks a record, all that, I think Saquon still, should get serious consideration. And I might give it to him. If the Eagles win out, he breaks the rushing record, give me Saquon Barkley.
He only needs 260 something, or it might be even less than that. I don't know exactly. But my thing is this about that. Because I love Saquon. You already know. I've been texting all the time. Thank God for Saquon. It's like, no,
that's true.
I think he's phenomenal. Here's my issue with these record things. It's not fair when Eric only had 16 games.
That's true.
And you got an extra game. And with the extra game, you still are like 2 games behind, like, to get what he did. That's not fair. You got to put an asterisk next to that, because who's to say if Eric would have gotten that? You know what I mean? Like I just think it's wrong, right? Like to do that, because that's not fair. You can't beat my record with more chances, with more bites at the apple than what I got, right? Like, I think all that has to come into play. It's like you got to consider the times with these things. It's like, well, this person broke this person's record. It's like, but the rules are changed. Like, you can't hand check anymore. Would have, and I'm not saying this because I do believe Steph would have still broken it because of this, but would Steph Curry have broken my record if you could hand check his ass as soon as he comes across half court? What if you could actually push his hip and knock him off of that, and he can't hit that shot? Like, he don't get it free, right? Like, not saying he wouldn't have, but you got to compare these things. So to the thing with Barkley, I just think it's unfair to do that to Eric Dickerson, because it's not a real record break. Because it is, but no. Because if it is, you got to do it in 16 games, right? Like, at this time. And if you do it, now you got the record. You don't get an extra game, right? That's what I'm saying. Like, those things are a little, but the times have changed. So it is what it is. Because technically the Patriots broke Miami Dolphins record, because they finished 18-1.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
They went 18-0. The Dolphins were 17-0. Right. But they won the chip. So they're still considered the only undefeated season, which it is. But the Patriots went 18-0. They beat their record. Mm-hmm. Right. So again, to me, I just think you got to bring those things up to play. That's my only thing. But love Saquon. I hope he does not get injured. I do. Without him, because he's injury prone.
Yeah, don't put it in the uterus. Don't put it in the uterus. We got that.
I get it. Knock on wood. You know what I mean? All that good stuff. But it's just, I just feel like we got to bring that up when we talk about this stuff.
Let me just wholeheartedly agree. It is actually something that annoys me to no end as well. I mean, even, you know, if you want to talk about Dickerson in 16 games, broke OJ, who did it in 14, right?
See?
Like, you know, you can even
that's my point.
Go back to that. So it's super tough. And here in Jets land, there's a lot of talk about Aaron Rodgers breaking Joe Namath's record, passing yard record, and that would be 17 games versus Joe Namath, who did it in 14, right? And I to be honest, I hate that that's, you know, where we're at. But, you know, I can't change it. I can't put in a new place in the GPS. This is where we are. This is where, you know, we're here. So I'll accept it as is. And all right, you know, all right, you broke the Mickey Mouse record.
Yeah, but it's like, I just think they have to acknowledge that, right? Like the same way they do with Barry and Mark McGwire with their home runs, right? They put asterisks because they're like, you know, these are enhanced. Because, right?
Yes.
They make sure they do that in baseball. And I think they should recognize that in that as well. They should say, OJ running this, but he did it in 12 games, what it took this one to do in 14, what it took, or 16, and what it took this one to do in 17. Like, because then now that really shows how great he really was.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Yeah, that's all I'm saying.
And those are like all of those stats and topics of conversation make complete sense. Like, it's just the games have changed, things have changed, the amount of games played, and just it's so the debate is always going to be there. But it's like, you know, true to your heart, you know who the GOATs are in certain categories. You know what I mean? After all the cards are laid, after all the chips are down, you're like, but we still know Jordan's the GOAT, or we still know, you know what I mean? It's just,
to me, Saquon is phenomenal, and I think he would have been great in any era.
Yeah.
Because he's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Athletic ability, you know what I mean? But I'm just saying, with those certain things, and you're right. To me, Barry Sanders, I don't care what the stats say.
Yeah.
From what I saw, nobody was better than that dude.
Yeah. I was just gonna bring him up too. Yeah, absolutely.
With no offensive line. They would literally give him the ball and they're just rushing him. And he'd figure how to wiggle out of all of that. You know what I mean? Emmitt Smith has everything, but Emmitt Smith had a lot. Boy, but no disrespect, because Emmitt still had to earn those yards. But trust me, if Barry had a line like that, he might have been retired higher up.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And if the abominable running back Bo Jackson would have never tore his hip.
Oh boy. Man. Just
what?
Like
Like, come on, man.
Bo knows.
Like,
Bo knows his hip. If his hip didn't give out, Bo knows if his hip didn't give out, it would have been a problem. You know what? And last on that, because I wanted to chime in just on the fact that you're talking about having the MVP trophies and like what that means. I think the MVP trophy at this stage, so at a professional level, you're right, isn't as worthy, and you trade in a dozen of those for one chip because it makes a difference. I think the only time the MVP or an MVP like or adjacent trophy is worthy of that is in college of any sport, because that helps you not only get to the pros, but it means something to the rest of your peers. Everybody knows in professional at MVP you get that, and if you didn't get the chip on top of that, it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't matter. You need the chip. Caleeb.
The Heisman comes with a new girlfriend, apparently.
I forgot. Yeah. Very true. We didn't even talk about Hunter and his. Oh man, he was all. Anyways, it's fine. Yeah,
man.
congratulations to
him. Let him live.
Yeah, let him live. Congratulations.
Let him live.
Could be a future Jet.
Yeah, I want to talk about stuff like that in a second too. Also, I should say again, you're listening to the Pop Off. Thank you, or for watching, for listening, for being here. We appreciate it on your holiday. Hopefully, you're having a holiday. If you're at work, maybe you're skipping out to watch us. Thank you for that. Don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, and share buttons. Do all of the things, because next week we are just getting word that we're getting the Joe Smith, the NBA player Joe Smith. He's going to be joining us next Friday. Is confirmed for the booking. So shout out to the NNR media area for connecting us with Joe Smith. If you don't know who he is, I'm going to date all y'all, and it's fine. I'm good with it. But this guy was drafted by the Golden State Warriors first overall in 1995, and he has played with the likes of Latrell Sprewell. Who else? Latrell Sprewell and like BJ Armstrong,
Mitch Richmond.
yeah, Tim Hardaway, among many. Donovan Marshall. I remember playing this guy on NBA 95, NBA Live 95. Whoever remembers on the Sega Genesis, I would change the team. Yeah, dude, I would change the team to be. I would be the Golden State Warriors. I go that deep into the Golden State Warriors lore because I love that squad. I love them before Curry got there. So shout out to the Warriors and I believe all that stuff. But like this
Curry
is
might not even been born yet. How about that? I don't
that's
know.
100% true.
I don't know if he was born yet.
Yeah, who knows? But if you know, you know.
Smoking and drinking, by the way.
If you know, you know. So Joe Smith will be with us next week. He's a power forward. He played for 16 years in the NBA. And at that time, unprecedented. We're not talking about LeBron's 20-something years now. At that time, from 95, and played with a number of great teams and great players. So he's going to be on the pod next week. So with that being said, let's move on. Thank you for letting us know about this Project Nerd HQ. This is I'm so stoked. So stoked. All right, cool. So let's jump into some other topics because we've been crushing it today. We got about 20 minutes left on the pod today. We all got stuff to do. So I want to talk about let's talk about the NBA. Let's talk about Christmas games. Now, does the NBA, it's early to tell, but does the NBA still hold on to the Christmas title or does the NFL? Because I posted the question in our group chat and it was very plain and simple. All I wanted is a yes or no. Are we doing NBA? Are we doing NFL? And it sounded like a resounding bunch of y'all were like NFL. So what do you guys think? Who won Christmas of 2024 and how will we go forward with that? Let's go Wudi and then Caleeb.
If we're going, and I just had this heated argument with my cousins last night. If we're going quality of the game, it's got to be the NBA. Because, I mean, I don't know if you've seen the Laker-Warriors game that came down to the Austin Reeves buzzer beater. The Knicks-Spurs, a three-point game. Wemby he might have had 50. I know for a fact he had 40, but he might have finished with 50. And Mikal Bridges had 40, right? A lot of clutch play there as well. The Celtics and the Sixers, every game was coming down to the wire. I mean, this was actually probably the best day of the year of the NBA. And, when you look on the other side, you look at that atrocity the Ravens committed against the Texans. And then you look at, what ended up happening with the Chiefs and the Steelers. That was one of the worst days in the NFL. So quality-wise, and we're looking like, level of excitement, you got to say point NBA. But, who was watching, right? Even on the NFL's worst day versus the NBA's absolute best day, they still quadrupled Adam Silver's NBA in the ratings. And you cannot tell me, trust me, she is a queen. She is a queen. But you cannot tell me Beyonce being halftime for one of the games is the cause for the entire slate quadrupling the NBA slate. So quality-wise, I think the NBA got this round. But moving forward, it's about to be the NFL. They going to fix this. And, we are going to see some bangers next year.
Caleeb.
I think the NFL – absolutely, because I said the NFL all day. Because it's just the games matter so much more. I was surprised that the NBA games were good. Here's the problem. That's hilarious. Maybe.
True.
Maybe. There's a little bit of that because it's a free concert for her fans. But I digress. But the NFL, I just think it's such a juggernaut. And the Steelers-Chiefs game was that was good because, like you said, Nigel, it didn't change until the second half, which the Chiefs is the new America's team. So it's like people wanted to see Travis Swift get a touchdown and do all that, who I think's game has dropped tremendously.
Yes.
After he decided to become he's going to be famous now, like an actor and like an influencer. I tell you, boy, I always say, Major League Two. It's what happened with Ricky Vaughn. Start wearing the suit and all that. I'm telling you, that's what it is. So we're going to see what happens. But shout out to Trav. All good. But so I think it's the NFL. But I will say, because you mentioned the NBA in that Lakers Golden State game, I don't care. You cannot be an NBA player and let Chip Douglas, y'all see that? Chip Douglas take you to the hole for the game-winning shot. Okay? You play here too? You know what I'm saying? Like, if you don't get out of here, take you off the dribble. You know what I'm saying? With a mouthpiece. I'm on Steven's team. This guy, get out of here, man.
I'm on full name. I'm on Steven's team.
You know what I mean? God. Listen, you can't do it. It was an embarrassment. I was so upset. I couldn't believe you wasted all of Steph's greatness. Steph old now. He pull it out the thing. He busting from 3 quarters out to tie the game. And you going to let Chip Douglas take you to the rack. Come on, man.
Yeah.
For the game winner. Because Austin's wearing the headband the whole time.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. So that I did not like. It was good to see all the other players thing. I'm going to have an issue with the NBA because to me it's not as fun anymore because it's just only about skill. Like, oh, look how good I can shoot and look at us because nobody plays defense. It's like, I hate it. Like, I just, and that's why the ratings are going down so much, which is another reason why the NFL don't allow you to play defense like that, but it's not that bad. But the point is the ratings always show. I'm sure Beyonce added to it. You know what I mean, for that game, but the Chiefs and the Steelers didn't have Beyonce, and I'm sure that those ratings were just as big, if not bigger, than what any of the NBA games did, just because people just love the NFL. So sorry, LeBron, it is not your day. You can have 20 games on Christmas if there's one football game, as long as it's not the Bears and the Seahawks.
We're not going to let the NFL live that one down. That was a poor choice. I think you're right, man. I'll say this first. It was really nice to have the option of flipping from NFL to the NBA because NBA started at noon. So did the football game started at 1. So it was like the option was fantastic. Because I can remember, and I should have done the research before this because I was just coming off the top of my dome, but when like Garnett was playing with the Timberwolves, there was something fun about, there were certain players that you wanted to see. The matchups were, even though some of the teams were just like real bizarre and outside the box, the matchups though were really keen. That year that everybody had like plain colored, like it was very simple colored jersey. So like Timberwolves had like, I think all white and then they said Wolves or again on blue. You know what I mean? Like those kind of Christmas edition-y kind of. But like those days, I was like, okay, so you're experimenting with the jerseys and you're experimenting with like the matchups, and that all day was fantastic. I mean, I tried my best to stay up for the late games because I was a little younger and just tired. It was late, like those West Coast games are like. But in order to have that run out, it was great. But yeah, I mean, games like this now, it's like, okay, well, these faces, man, and that's been a long debate now for a couple years. Like, who are the faces of the NBA and who are the stars? Who are the next stars? Because we're running out of time. The Steph Curry, the LeBron. When LeBron hugged Steph Curry at the very beginning of the game, I think it was the beginning or the end, but it was
the beginning.
Yeah, and he was like, "Hey, man, how long are we going to do this?" And he was joking around. It was funny, but it was also like, "Yeah, how long are y'all going to do this?" Because you can't have matchups like that anymore, right? I mean, this might be premature, but what happened to Ant? Like, what happened to those guys that from last year's playoffs that are really crushing this season so far?
Because the team changed.
100%. I agree with you 100%. But even if the team changes, even back in the day, I don't want to sound like, get off my lawn, but like even back in the day, if the team changed, that one player would step up and he would still be relevant just in a different way. But now it's like once you take out a certain piece of these teams that have created super teams, then the whole thing becomes dysfunctional and they don't operate the same way, right?
Once you can double team the guy that you couldn't before.
Yeah. Blame
Julius Randle. Julius can still give you 20 and 10 a night. He's just not going to give you 30.
Yeah, but I digress.
But he don't play good. He don't play good with Ant though. They don't. They don't gel. See, there's a synergy that you got to make sure is there for players, especially in basketball. It's a rhythm. Same thing with football. Quarterbacks got the people they trust, but in basketball, it's a real synergy and rhythm. You know what I mean?
So I thought that was interesting, but again, I think shout out to Netflix. They did such a great, and we're not paid by them, but shout out by them because
this time there was no buffering.
Yeah, no buffering.
Yes. Oh my God, I was nervous.
I think everybody was nervous. I think they figured it out because their transitions, their panel, the everything was top notch. It didn't feel like this was Netflix's first time. Even their clean wipes going from the Netflix logo from the end to the game and then going to commercial, and then. Man, look at them just dropping all kinds of new stuff that nobody knew about, like the new Adam Sandler's new Happy Gilmore 2 and all these other movies and TV shows that nobody knew anything about. All of a sudden, they're just shouting, "Yo, what's up, Darlene?" Like just dropping all kinds of new nuggets, and I'm like, "Wow, this is how you do it. This is how you do it." And this is old school. This is old school where we're just watching TV, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, there's a trailer for Batman 2 coming out. You're like, "I didn't know Batman 2 was coming out."
They're trying to get rid of everything.
Yeah.
You'll only need Netflix. You can get your games. They're getting that's terrible for CBS to see that.
Yeah. It's a bad look for them. Great look for Netflix. Okay, let's talk about a couple more topics before we walk out of here. We talked about the NBA slowly declining, or rapidly declining. Who knows? What do we think about the NBA declining? Do we think they're rapidly or slowly?
I think it's rapidly because here's what happens when there's no opposition. It's no longer fun. Everybody's going to score 144 points, right? You think that's what you want until you get it. You think you want more points because 85, 87, I hated that game. Mm-hmm. It was like, right, okay, so they take defense away so these players can do more. Mm-hmm. Now they're doing it to a degree where you're like, turn because there's no we need opposition. Humans function on what you're up against. If the ground just gave you fruit, there wouldn't be no need for gardeners. There's no farmer. Why? Anybody can just grow it. No, it takes skill. You got to know when and the sun is out. Give it water now. No, don't do that. This and that. It's gonna die. See, I told you that. There's opposition. That's the way it's designed. The world is, but we don't like it. People don't want to face dragons, so we want everything to be easy. So you see what happens. Now you have it. It's glorious. Let them eat cake. But don't nobody want to eat that shit. Everybody's like, man, I want some asparagus. Somebody give me some spinach, man. This is crazy. Can't have all this sugar. You're going to give me diabetes, right? It's what happens. It's what's going on. And that's the problem with the NBA. They took defense out. You can't take the teeth out and still act like it's opposition, like, ooh, competitive. It's not. You might as well everybody just shoot and see who makes the most points. Do the pop a shot. Just shoot as much as you can for 30 seconds. And then we'll shoot for as much as we can. And then you shoot and then we'll see who at the end who won. Ta-da! I'm the GOAT. See? So that's what I think the problem is. It's like you need to allow defense, allow them to play defense again, make the games harder, make those guys have to play more, and then the ratings will go up because now you can have a Ben Wallace. You can have, remember there used to be defenders, but that's all they did. Draymond just fight. I ain't talking about him. That's not real defense. I'm talking about people that actually played defense that were known for their defense. Mm-hmm. You don't even have that no more. Everybody, the people you know about are all scorers outside of Draymond, who just, like I said, just going to be dirty.
WWE.
Huh?
Doesn't he like a WWE fighter?
Yeah. Like Charles Oakley was known as a defender. Yeah. Xavier McDaniel, like guys like that, So anyway, I just think the NBA needs that. That's why the ratings go down. They don't understand why. They're like, we're giving you what you want. It's like, yeah, but humans, you can't listen to people. People don't know what they want. They want, if you ask them, easy. Ask your kid, what do you want for dinner? Ice cream. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Like you can't listen to people.
Yeah, that is the new NBA now. Yeah, what do you think, Wudi?
I have to wholeheartedly agree. I'm gonna double down on what Caleeb said. I think the reason why we watch sports in general is competition.
Absolutely.
That's what it is. It's a competition, and sometimes it's physical. A lot of times it's mental, right? There are these certain things that you can do, and these are the certain ways that they're going to try to stop you. If you do this, they'll do that. All of that type of chess matching is gone. It's gone. So in addition to the elimination of defense, right? There's no we're not seeing no strategy. It's chuck up three, drive, and pass it to someone else and chuck up a three. And there was actually a quote that I just heard from. Well, I mean, obviously it's an old quote because it's from the late great Kobe Bryant. But he said, like, that's where we're at right now. It's accidental basketball, right? Back when he was playing, he knew if he gets the ball on this block, Byron Russell's coming down. They're gonna do this, and he can shift. And now Robert Horry's open right at the top of the key. There is none of that. There's none of that. So what are we watching? There's no stimulation for us as fans because there's no competition. And to say one more point, right? So we eliminated defense. There's no strategy. And every single player are friends. Like, they're all boys. Like, it's like, okay, like, so what are we doing? What are we doing? We can just go to LA Fitness ourselves and create more intense competition than what we're seeing. Because, in the NFL, and I'm not saying everybody has to, be enemy, like attack each other and everything, but no, there's pride. There's pride here. Like Josh Allen, he can, do all the golf outings with Patrick Mahomes and, do that type of stuff. But for a fact on the field,
he wants to beat him.
He wants to destroy him. Like, and it's both sides, right? Mahomes wants to destroy Josh, and Josh wants to destroy Patrick. But there's literally nothing in the NBA that even closely resembles that. They all boys. Like you guys said, Steph and LeBron. How much longer are we gonna be doing this? Hey, let's get dinner after the game. Like, there's no so it's those three things: defense, strategy, and every single player is best friends. Like, it's just it's disgusting. It literally disgusts me.
I agree with you so real. Like, when I saw players passing up open layups to pass somebody to shoot a three, I was like, you can't even show kids the game. They're not going to learn how to play. Are you kidding? Wait a minute. You can drive to the rack and get a layup, take the two, but no. You go underneath the basket and look to pass it out for somebody to shoot a three. And guess what? He's 7 feet. Yeah. He's a 7-footer supposed to be in the middle. His big ass out there trying to. It's insanity, and I agree with Wudi. I hate it. It's like taking body shots out of fighting. No, that hurts. So we're not gonna do body shots.
Yeah,
so it's just ridiculous.
It's so interesting too. One point on that. That's why I like soccer or football so much is because, and that's why those. The fans are so riled up because you have a 1-0 game or a 1-0 game, but it's you get riled up because you're talking about the opportunities that were missed when the offense had the ball, the finesse of the game, and how it. Sure, man, I get that some people are like this is boring or whatever, but it's like Wudi said, it is almost the ultimate chess match. Like you mentioned, the chess match, and that's why I love the game of soccer so much because you have that 1-0 win and everything rides on that. That means so much for not only the table or like wherever you are in the group, if it's a tournament. For me, that's why I love it. But I digress. And when
I just need the soccer fans stop throwing bananas at the brothers. That's
That's
all I'm saying.
Shout out to Italy and their
It's hard for me to watch it when I'm like, yo, are you really? Now I'm offended. Now I'm mad. Now I'm angry.
I know it's it comes with the greatest. Like
they still doing that? Do they still do that?
No, not as much.
Not as much. I'm just kidding. I'm just playing. But
but to your point too, when we're talking about football, it's like I love what you guys are saying, and I agree as well. And in addition to that, you can see it a little bit now because when whoever the broadcaster is, like for example, when the Bills and KC were going at it, they're going tit for tat, and they've been doing that for the last 2 or 3 seasons, especially 2 seasons. The shots of like Mahomes or the shots of Allen right after they score and whoever is on the bench, they're waiting for their turn. You can see it in their eyes and you can see it in their faces that they're like, okay, it's got to go to work. And you can see how distraught they are and how they have to win. They have to destroy. But those are the elites of the elites. Those are the warriors. they only give themselves kudos and shout outs after the game. And when they do, it's usually real quick because they got to put in work because they know that they're going to see them again.
And you don't know what they're actually saying.
100%.
They're coming like this, like, fuck you.
You still suck. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So on the TV, we're like, oh, look how they're smiling.
Yeah.
They're saying all kinds of shit to each other. You sorry as a motherfucker. They should have never gave your ass money.
It's so true. I love it. I love it. You ain't worth that contract, sucker.
Yeah.
Cool, man. All right, everybody. Listen, I don't want to take up any more time. I think we crushed today. There was a couple of topics that we didn't get to, but you know what? They'll roll over. It's real easy. This was super fun. Thank you for joining us for a hot 50 minutes of pure jokes and sports. Let's go with some weekend words before we get out of here. Caleeb, what do you got?
2024 is over, y'all. Not yet, but this is our last one until the new year. Yeah, man, it's a great year. Be grateful and thankful for everything, even all the trials and tribulations. At least you made it through. So all that can do is make you stronger, and look forward for 2025. Everything is going to be new, a whole new beginning, a whole new you if you decide to. So that's all I got to say. Here's the end to 2024, and here's the 2025. Ready to do it again.
Love it. There you go. Wudi, weekend words?
Darlene, thank you for laughing with us. It's we had a great time this last episode of 2024. Like Caleeb said, we're looking forward to 2025. And the two gentlemen above me, not to blow up any info, but they got some birthdays to celebrate between now and then. So happy early birthday to my guys up top right here. And
Capricorn season.
Yeah.
Hey.
Aggressive.
Hey.
45 and 25. 45 and 25.
Doesn't matter how old I am because I get cast between 30 and 45. So don't worry about it. I don't blow myself up just in case. Let's get a young dad. That guy looks young. Amazing. Well, thank you for that, man. Shout out to you dudes. This has been another fantastic year. The rhythm has been rhythming. We've had a blast. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in, listening, watching, chiming in with your conversations. We expect nothing less, but we expect so much more in the new year when the pop-off comes back. Shout out to Gene, our commander-in-chief. Sometimes he will be here with us next week when we do it all again. Please stay with us. Have a happy and safe new year. Be with ones you love people that you care about, and we will see you then. I'm not buying a hat today because I already done bought